32 for you guys. We'll call to order the Board of Health meeting for the town of Walpole on July the 28th, 2020. First item on our agenda is a COVID-19 update from Patrick and Melissa.
Sure, so I'll kind of kick things off and turn it over to Melissa. I'll talk about the operations and turn it over to Melissa to talk about the new travel order, and the town's response to COVID-19. So operationally, nothing new to report, except that the priority of both the town and the school department is, of course, getting school year up and running to the best we can. I think I mentioned at our meeting last week or 2 weeks ago that the superintendent and the assistant superintendent are working on 3 options that they need to submit to the state by August 10th. So those 3 options were complete in-person learning, full remote learning, and a hybrid learning where students learn in person and remotely. So actually the assistant superintendent met with the school committee on Friday where they indicated that the hybrid model makes the most sense at this time, and that's actually the plan that they're going to start planning on to implement starting in the fall. So it's all still subject to final. I know the school committee is planning on taking it up again at their August 6th meeting, but the plan that they've been discussing as of right now include cohorts of students attending on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Wednesdays and Fridays, with Monday being with all students participating remotely and for a half day, and then on the other half, I know that they were planning on doing a professional development day for teachers. Also, I think one of the major considerations of this is for the families where having complete remote learning isn't quite an option because, obviously parents have responsibilities to work. So the extended day director at the school department is working with the rec department and some of the other town departments to start putting together a child care program where they could, where learning from home isn't necessarily an option. So we're in the process of investigating that. I have a feeling that more information is going to become available in the coming weeks. We've been meeting with Don Anderson from the building department, obviously the health department, school department, met with school nurse Kathy Garvin today. But this is kind of the plan that we're all kind of pitching in to make happen before the start of school. Superintendent Goff also mentioned that she's proposing a delayed start of school this year to Tuesday, September 8th. The addition of delaying this by the week will allow for more staff training and preparation. So again, more to come. I know Superintendent Goff had sent something out to parents on Friday, basically explaining their thought process. And, I think everybody's familiar with the circumstances. And I think a lot of people have been understanding that this isn't the ideal way to start a school year. But I know that they're working on trying to find something that makes the most sense given the circumstances. So in addition to this, I just want to mention the library and the Council on Aging. I think I may have mentioned this at the last meeting together. They're planning on soft openings next week. So the library is planning on allowing no more than 25 people into the building at a time for visits by appointment. They'll have reduced hours from 10 to 3. And then the Council on Aging, they're also starting to look at doing some limited outside programming starting next week. So other than that, I'll turn it over to the health department. Other than that, we've just been continuing to emphasize wearing masks, social distancing, everything that, the message that we've been emphasizing from the beginning. So Melissa, anything I'm missing?
No, you hit upon all of it. Just to touch about the travel order, like Mona, you referenced, so that goes into effect August 1st. So if you are coming into the Commonwealth, you would be required to either do the 14-day quarantine or have a test with results prior to entering the Commonwealth within 72 hours of entering the state. There are exemptions for that for those individuals, like military personnel, obviously those coming from the lower risk states, which are New England, also Hawaii, New Jersey, and New York. And then having to do with people that commute to and from, say Rhode Island to Mass or Mass to Rhode Island on a daily basis, multiple times a week, they would be exempt from that. Individuals seeking medical treatments, and I think that's pretty much it. Commuting to work and school, which I referenced that. So we were on a call today with DPH, so they did bring that up. I'm sure we'll hear more about that soon. That does go into effect the 1st of August. We've received a few questions from, businesses in town that their employees are traveling. So we're kind of referencing to them, to that guidance to follow. Trying to think everything else regarding, I know we have an update with the hazardous waste day later on, but like Patrick kind of referenced with things opening up, like I felt like everyone did a really good job at the hazardous waste day. We had probably close to 300 individuals participate in the event, and I felt like everyone demonstrated social distancing. Everyone stayed in their cars the entire event, which I know sometimes is hard because people like to get out and show what they have in their trunk, but people adhere to our requirements. All employees that were working were, distancing and wearing masks as well. So I think it was well run, and I think everything went well in general with the event. As you know, town hall is open to the public. I don't see any concerns. Patrick, obviously chime in. I feel like everyone's adhering. Employees are wearing face coverings. Those coming in to conduct their business are conducting their business, and then they're leaving. There's not much lingering in the hallways. So even though people are actively coming into the building, it still remains pretty quiet within the halls.
Yeah, I'd say that too. It's, I think for the most part, I think a lot of people realize, not just with the town hall and government, but within, many of the services in their own private lives, that, if there's an opportunity to do things remotely, I think we've all found pretty creative ways to do that. So between services by phone and by email, and obviously the Dropbox out back, I think a lot of residents are still availing themselves of those options. And it's still, I look around the building, there's maybe one or two people in each of the windows where there used to be lines waiting at the treasurer's office. The tax deadline is August 1st, and normally this week, people lined up to pay their tax bills, and that hasn't been the case. So I think people are just still, staying at home as much as they can, and not necessarily doing in-person services whenever they're able.
Excellent.
I think that tax deadline this month is August 3rd, Patrick, because the 1st is a Saturday, right?
I thought it was the 1st, but I might be mistaken. I think it's...
Because the 1st is a Saturday.
Okay, yeah, maybe you're right. Yep.
Yeah, okay. I had a question about the school hybrid option. I mean, what if a parent is concerned about their kids' health? Can they make them do everything remotely, or they're gonna make all the students attend?
So I think Rachel touched upon this the last meeting that we had, that there are options for like kind of everyone's mindset, right, Rachel? So like if people are feeling unsafe or uncomfortable, there are ways to do things remotely.
Yes, there's a clause in the guidelines that we have from DESE that specifically states that if a child can't attend for medical reasons, then there needs to be an option for them to be fully remote. What that option is still in the works, as all of the models are still in the works, but that is in there. And I think the question, or the part that we're really working on now, is what about employees that fall into that category that can't attend for medical reasons? So they're really looking at that now.
And I was on a conference call earlier today. This is a standing conference call with the Mass Municipal Association and the Lieutenant Governor, and they mentioned that they were in the process of working out some guidelines, not just as it relates to public education, but I guess all employers, what to do in those situations where you find that you've got employees that may not necessarily be comfortable, or maybe they've got a medical reason precluding them from coming to work. So in the conference call today, the Lieutenant Governor mentioned that that was something that the administration was working to try to prioritize.
That's good to hear.
Thank you.
Anything else, Patrick?
No, any other questions from the board? If not,
Sounds like we're good.
sounds good. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Patrick.
Bill, enjoy the rest of your vacation. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you next time.
All right. See you in a couple of weeks.
All right. Thanks, Patrick.
All right. Next on our agenda is the approval of the minutes from the July 14th meeting. Any changes, corrections, additions, or deletions? I didn't see anything in them.
I didn't either.
And we'll entertain a motion then on the minutes.
I'll make a motion. I'll make the motion regarding the July 14th minutes from that meeting, and that the Board of Health has no corrections or concerns.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
Yes.
All right. Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
5-0-0 on the minutes. All right, we have an animal permit request, 486 Washington Street. I must admit, it is one of the most comprehensive permit applications I've ever seen.
Pretty much.
With,
Same comment, very organized, very detailed.
you know, with pictures and the description of the chicken coop and so forth. I mean, 12 pages.
The neighbors'
Unbelievable.
email, they put a lot of work in that. You know, they were concerned about the neighbors too, so.
And the neighbors were all notified of the permit request, I assume?
Yeah, via email, I think, yeah.
Yes, they were. So Ashley's on the call. She can speak if she'd like, but she went around to all the neighbors and delivered the letter, got email responses, and I think she had sent one certified.
Okay. And did
John did go.
yeah, did John have any issues?
No, he did not have any issues.
Because it seemed pretty comprehensive with the manure management plan, and the chicken coop looks really quite amazing. Are there any questions from anybody on the board for Ashley?
No, it was pretty much very clear and
Okay. Then someone would like to make a motion on that one?
I'll make a motion in regards to the animal permit. 86 Washington Street, the Board of Health will grant the permit.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay. Motion has been made and seconded. Further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
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 5-0-0. Good luck, Ashley. With your
Thanks,
chickens.
everyone. Thank you.
Good luck. All right, we have a lifeguard variance for LA Fitness. This is a
So the LA
one we've
Fitness,
had before.
LA Fitness had reached out earlier today and said that their CPO and manager is out of the office sick and will be the one representing them at the meeting. So they're asked to be pushed to the next Board of Health meeting. So that would be the August 11th meeting.
Okay, well, push them off if they'd like.
Okay.
The pool is not operating right now.
Oh, okay. And then we have a lifeguard variance for Fairfield Inn. This is a new one, right? Or is this a renewal?
This is a renewal.
Oh, too.
This is the newer hotel, but this is their third year, I believe, operating.
This is the one next to Clyde's?
Correct.
Oh, okay. They didn't put a pool in the one further down the road?
They both those hotels actually have pools, but that one has chosen to remain closed for the time being.
Oh, okay. And have there been any issues or concerns with the Fairfield Inn pool over the last couple of years?
There has not been. So I did attach in my email that I sent last week with the package, just kind of the conditions that the board kind of agreed on, and that this letter does get mailed out should the board agree to approve this variance. And it just talks about proper signage, having the identification form.
Right.
We do require there to be like a chief engineer who would be the certified pool operator to be
Right.
on the premises at all times.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then we also talk about the guest using the pool must obtain a pool, like a key card to access the pool area at the front desk.
Right. They had agreed to do that originally.
Sure.
All right. Anyone like to make a motion then on the Fairfield Inn variance?
I'll make a motion regarding the Fairfield Inn pool variance. Board of Health would grant the variance with the previously stated requirements from the last variance.
Yeah. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay. Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
May I make a comment?
Oh, absolutely, please.
I appreciate receiving the letter, Melissa, that you sent out to both of these pool people. It was really good to see how you stated so clearly in this letter exactly what is expected by the Board of Health for having a pool without a lifeguard. It was really done very well. Thank you.
Thanks. I just figured it's
Thanks,
a sure because I know each variance is somewhat a little different depending on the circumstance. So.
Okay. All right. We have a motion made and seconded. We had a comment from Carol. All in favor? Aye.
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 5-0-0 on that. Old business. Well, you already kind of updated us on the
I did,
Hazardous
yeah.
Waste Day.
It was a good event. You were definitely missed, Billy and Carol. Mona was representing though. But we actually enlisted the help of our CERT team as well as our medical reserve corps. So it was a good event. Like we probably had maybe 10 or so volunteers, which were needed. We were out to 1A prior to the event even starting. The event started at 8 o'clock. We were probably out to 1A at like 7:45. It was, and from 8 or 7:45 until a little after 11, we still had people coming in.
Good.
Let people that were in line obviously come in if they were on the street by 11, but
Right.
it was good. It was a good event. We didn't know what to expect because obviously it wasn't in May, it was in July, but I think a lot of people have been cleaning out over the last, 5 or so months. So I think it was really necessary that we held it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
We will plan though to go back to our May, the first Saturday in May moving forward. So if anyone were to ask, we would have that. And then also anyone that maybe potentially missed this past Saturday's event, we do have reciprocal agreements with some neighboring communities. So just have them call the health department. We can give them the date and the time. They just have to come in, pick up a voucher. It's $10 and they can present it at whatever reciprocal agreement location they decide on.
Okay. I'll be giving you a call. And then new business. We got a response or applying for a response grant, or we've received it.
So we received it. So we received an award of $5,000. So this
Excellent.
Community Health Coalition of Metro West is actually the grant that helped fund the Minds Matters interface, Williams James interface referral for mental health. So I saw this myself and lead school nurse Kathy Garvin. She said apply. I was like, I'll apply. So then we just kind of tackled it together and we got the $5,000. You can use it for COVID response. So our game plan is to hopefully put it towards the referral source because as you know, mental health is a huge, ongoing concern, but obviously with COVID, it's definitely been elevated. So the program's pretty expensive and our contract does expire this November. So we would be looking to possibly put this money towards that to offset the costs.
Excellent. Excellent.
So we got it.
All right. Anything else that the board needs to?
Quick items. One, big thank you to Rika and Jen. So we're on Viewpoint. I don't know, we've probably spoken about Viewpoint before to go electronic. So the building department kind of spearheaded it probably 2 or 3 years ago to get their permitting online. So now the health department's kind of coming online. So not everything's online right now, but with the help of Jen and Rika, they've been able to put all of our applications online. So it's a lot, it's not just scanning them in. There's a lot of composing, drafting, coding. So a lot went into it. But the outcome's going to be awesome when everyone can apply online. And it seems like that's what's going on now. And it seems like with COVID, especially, a lot of people look for that option and a lot of other towns have that. So I'm happy to do that. We received our first, toxic hazardous reporting 2 weeks ago. So that was like the first one. I saved it. I'll probably frame it. And then receiving perk applications online. So it's cool. It's cool that we're doing it.
Excellent. Very good.
And then the last item, so tobacco permits. Our office has received a few inquiries regarding availability of tobacco permits. So as you know, we did cap the tobacco permits. So right now we currently have one retail tobacco permit left. So that's not an adult only, that's just a retail tobacco store. So one individual that's looking to purchase an existing property and build, they're looking to get the permit now. So I did reach out to the state to say, well, they don't have an actual business yet. They haven't purchased the property. They haven't built their business. So if they were doing a DBA, would that be allowed? So the woman from the state said it's not unheard of that they would issue the license to the individual, but potentially put a cap on it to say you have 6 months with this permit, and if you don't, begin operating, then potentially it will go back in the drawing for if someone else, wanted the permit. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention to see potentially what your mindsets were on, would you prefer to issue it once the business is in place? Are you comfortable issuing it, but then the thing that's tricky is you could say it expires in December, but technically our tobacco permits run from May to May. So if you were to issue one now, they would have until May to operate.
Well, I mean, I'm certainly sensitive to the fact that if people are going to invest a lot of money to set up a business,
Sure.
they need to have some level of certainty that they are going to be able to actually run the business.
Exactly.
Have they put in a formal request yet?
They just, Rika, sorry, chime in if you have any input. It was just via email and by phone. They did speak with Rika.
So the business, a lawyer that's representing a business, I'm not sure where, but they're looking to purchase, and they reached out just asking about tobacco permits, provided the information, and then the lawyer, she reached out to me again via email, just asking if their client could apply for a tobacco sales permit if it was under contract to purchase the property for which it wanted to use the sales permit, or would it have to be the record owner of the property? So that's kind of, they're interested, but like Bill said, they want to know they have that tobacco permit to go forward. So they want to know if that would be an option.
I mean, personally, I would be okay with it, but
Okay.
I'm sorry, what was that, Richard?
Non-transferable.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Right.
It makes sense to me for them to have the permit
First.
in pursuing business.
So it sounds to me like the board does not have an issue with. Oh, what happened? Did I lose you guys? Where'd y'all go?
We can still see you. Can you hear it?
My screen just went. Oh, this is weird. What happened? This is very strange. I just have Zoom showing on my screen.
Must be COVID-19.
Must be.
Like your bottom toolbar, do you see like the little camera, the little zoom camera?
Yeah.
Click on that.
Oh, there we go. That's weird.
You shrink it by accident. I do that all the time.
Very strange.
Also.
It sounds like the board doesn't have an issue with communicating with the potential applicant that we would be willing to consider issuing the permit prior to them actually having a physical space and a business running. I suppose we could put some conditions on that.
So technically that permit, if we say, and we don't know, they might not follow through with this until November.
Right.
The permit would technically expire in May.
May?
From there, they would have to reapply for it. So then that would be maybe revisited then potentially.
I say they might not actually get an application in until late August, early September. So yeah, the May would be about 6-7 months anyway. So I think that would be okay. So yeah, let them know that we're willing to consider that. I mean, obviously they're going to have to put in their application, and we'll review all of the pertinent information. But we'll assume that if everything looks good, we'll be able to issue the permit.
That sounds good. Perfect. And
Anything?
then one last thing. I know.
Oh yeah, sure.
So Kelsey's on the call right now, Kelsey Reardon, our intern, and this is actually her last full week interning with us. So it really was quick. It was the beginning of July to the beginning of August. So just to give her a little shout out, she's done a lot of great help with us in the office, working on our MRC newsletter. She's done a lot of shadowing with Rika for inspections, a lot of septic inspections. So I hope she's enjoyed her time here. We'll look forward to having her for the next week or so, but this will be her last Board of Health call.
Well, Kelsey, thank you so much for interning with us. I hope it was a valuable experience for you.
Oh yeah, I've had a lot of fun.
Excellent. It's certainly an interesting time to be involved in public health. All right, is there anything else that the board needs to consider tonight, Melissa?
No, I think that's it.
All righty then. I'll I'll make a motion then to adjourn.
Second.
Motion's been second. All in favor?
Aye.
500. Everybody enjoy the late July and early August.
Yes, we'll see
Fun
everyone
and summer.
August 11th.
And I will be online August 11th, unfortunately, back in Walpole, quarantining if I don't have a negative COVID test to show that I can wander around. But since I work from home anyway, quarantine won't be a big deal.
Yeah.
Have a safe trip back home, Bill.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks very much. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye now.